Now, you know that ordinarily I come to you with a message about, weight loss and keeping, and for people who struggle with weight loss, and I'm still all about that. But, I really right now, this whole Corona situation has started to spiral. And it feels like in the past couple of days, it went from something that people were taking kind of seriously to mostly seriously to now it's like, wow, it's full on in your face, cannot ignore it. And so because of that, I was really having a lot of emotions around all this. Oh, by the way, if you're noticing me looking at two different cameras, it's because I'm on Facebook on my computer. Hey, Facebook. And I'm on Instagram Live on my phone because, I was just really, yesterday was like a rough day for me. And it was really challenging as the weight of all of this was starting to kind of hit me. Yeah, right now I'm in the Bay Area. I'm in Oakland, California, and woo woo, former home of the Raiders, but we won't go into that. And we're in a place right now where we're in within a span of literally 48 hours. It jumped from okay, should schools close down, or maybe 36 hours rather, or no, 48 is longer than 36. You get the idea. In the short span of time, it went from okay, we're going to be maybe closing down schools to guess what? We're closing down all schools, every school, and everyone needs to stay inside. Everyone needs to stay inside for the next 3.5 weeks. Like there is a no contact order with other people. Really, I forgot the phrasing of it because I stopped looking at the news, and it just started to feel really overwhelming. And I started to feel like I was in this place of feeling really helpless. And yesterday, my daughter's school, it's a school that teaches Black children their history and to love themselves. They were hanging in there, and then yesterday they had a meeting. They're like, we cannot even do it anymore. We have to switch to a digital platform, and it just hit me. We all do this, and I started to feel this because really I'm on my way to 35. I'll be 35 in June, and I have never experienced a situation like this. I, I know I'm not the oldest person, but my parents, my dad, and other folks who are a little bit older than me also say the same things that they've never witnessed this kind of pervasive, everything shuts down nationwide and around the world type of thing going on. So it's this is a really traumatic situation, and it's normal to feel trauma and feel the weight of that. And I think a lot of people are starting to feel um, the emotions that go along with all of that. So if you're feeling those feelings, and if you're kind of maybe addicted to the news right now, or if you're kind of ignoring it completely, whatever you're feeling is perfectly normal. It's normal to have fear because there's a lot of unknowns, and for a lot of us, it's scary that it's a pandemic. It's scary that it's reached that level. It's scary that we don't know the full depth of how this really affects us until we kind of go through it. It's scary that there won't be a vaccine for the next year or year and a half. For a lot of people, including our household, your income might be getting affected, depending on where you work at, and that's also an unfair notion in this specific country where it's like your income is greatly affected depending on the company that you're at. So some people are totally fine, and some people aren't. If you're part-time or hourly, my heart goes out to you. If you are at risk of getting laid off, or you have been laid off, or anyone that you know or are connected to has been laid off, my heart goes out to you. Our income is being affected too by this, so that's also scary. There's a lot of unknowns, and there's a lot of things that are up in the air. Um, Also, too, I'm just gonna keep it real. I have a 5 and a 2-year old. You know, I, I'm a little worried about being in the house with them for weeks on end where we can't go anywhere. you know, Lockdown might be a little bit easier for me if I didn't have a 5 and a 2-year old in the house. She's going on 3 actually, and also her birthday is happening in like 10 days, and so we're going to be under these kind of lockdown light situation. So all of that is really scary. And yesterday I cried. I was in the parent meeting and I started to tear up because I was just like, is this where, like, it just feels like with global warming, it feels like, You know, last year in the Bay Area, we had this really unhealthy smoke situation going on in the Bay Area, and that was scary. So it was just like, it just feels like our world is changing. The political climate in this country right now is also a little intense. So it just feels like there's a lot of big change happening and things going on. But with all of that, you know, it's very easy to start to feel hopeless, especially if you're in this lockdown light situation. The good news here in the Bay Area is that we can go to the store. You know, there are leaving stores open, but you know, bars, cafes, you know, anything that's considered non-essential is has been ordered to close. Everyone is being asked to stay inside as much as humanly possible. You know, my understanding is that you can go out and go for a walk, which is great. You know, thank goodness it's not like an actual lockdown situation, because I would really start to. You guys would see me on here like 12 hours out of the day because I'd be like, I'm losing my mind. But so that's the good news. You know, again. So, but I think, you know, one of the things when I woke up this morning and yesterday, and thankfully because I'm a health coach and I'm in this kind of personal development stage, I subscribe to a lot of different YouTube channels. I'm in a coaching school where we talk about these issues, and they went live yesterday, and we kind of, you know, and we got to work through a lot of these things. And also too, thank goodness I'm surrounded by people who are very positive and uplifting, right? So just in getting to be in conversation with other positive people who can help to put this in perspective, it helped to kind of, it helped me, you know, go from feeling of a place of like, oh my gosh, where are we? Like, what the hell is going on this planet right now? To a place of like, okay, how do we move through this? And by the way, all of those feelings are normal. So if you're going through those feelings of like, what the hell is going on? Know that that's normal too, and that's part of the process. And also, you don't have to stay there. And so I really thought that in this time, I really want to be of service. I really want to be of service and help, you know, since I am also going to be practicing all these sanity savers myself, you can know that they are tried and true, and that they can help you in this time of feeling overwhelmed. Okay, so I just kind of compiled some things. And the first thing I also want to say too, I'm going to be coming out with a more comprehensive list of things later today that I send to my mailing list. If you want access to that, I'll be posting that on my social media. So you can stay, you know, on my Facebook. You can look out for that. Or if you follow me on Instagram, I'm at Thrive and Be Whole, WHOLE. So if you search for that on Instagram, you'll find me. You can follow me and you'll have access to that. I want to go live, you know, every day or as much as humanly possible when I have a 5 and a 2-year-old around. So I have those limitations. But I want to go live as much as possible because I also want to show you guys in real time things that I'm doing for myself and my mental health so that you can also practice them too. Okay? So the first thing, so you'll get a more comprehensive list from me, but here are, you know, like with hotlines and journal prompts that I use. And actually, what I'm going to walk you through now is kind of like a gratitude list that I've been making for myself since this morning. Because if you don't know about gratitude, it can feel sometimes when we think about when people say, oh, you know, just be thankful for what you have or express gratitude. Sometimes that can feel like a slap in the face. It can feel like we're minimizing the very real pain and fear that we have. But we know, like, you know, back in the day, we used to call it Pollyanna thinking, you know, you're being overly optimistic, you're putting on rose colored glasses. But we actually know now that gratitude is a very real, powerful, truth-telling way of looking at a situation. It's going from looking at the glass as being half empty to recognizing, oh wait, I have water in my glass. Like I'm okay. Like there's more that is okay than is not. And for all the things that are not okay, when you take time to actually, you know, write down the things that you're grateful for, it is a powerful tool that helps you take empowered action so you don't feel stuck with all the problems that you do have. You know, if income limitations, you know, like I do have very real income fears at this time of being in the house for 3 weeks and not being able to do work. There were a lot of events that I had to cancel this month that would have been good income generating things for our family. But when I take the time to work on my mental health and work on my gratitude, it's incredible how all of a sudden solutions start to pop up and open up. So if this is something that you feel like, bah, bah humbug, give it a try. Seriously, gratitude has saved my life on more times than I can count. So here are, you know, a couple of things that I would recommend doing. So firstly, you know, I recommend journaling. And if you don't know about the Facebook group that I have this Facebook group called Healthy Living Should Be Fun. And if you just go into Facebook and you search for that, join it, you'll see that I have a full access. I have these journal prompts that I use that I recommend that are in the files section of that group. And there's the first prompt is self forgiveness. The second question or prompt is about um, things that you're proud of yourself for. And the third question is about gratitude. And right now, just because we're in the shock of it all, I'm just going to spend some time really talking about gratitude. And later in the next upcoming days, I'll go through the other ones as well too. Again, later today, I'll have a way more comprehensive list so that you can see all of the different resources that I use. Um, Another thing that you can do too, there are plenty of hotlines. You can call hotlines. You can try and get online counseling. You can talk to friends and family members, but you should not feel You want to work against isolation in this time. Whether you are in like a lockdown light, like we are in the Bay Area, or whether you're not, or whether you're getting ready to be in one, or whether you're just coping with hearing all of this craziness, because that's traumatic. So with the gratitude, I want to share with you the gratitude list that I came up with, because this is me really processing in real time my own my own pain and my own fears, and me really counteracting that with my real gratitude list. So I started to write down, that I'm grateful for a body that moves. I'm grateful for a body that allows me to be healthy. And by the way, in this resource later, you'll see some of the ways that I move my body when I'm stuck inside. YouTube is a great resource for that. I also have an online workout program that I use. And again, going on walks is going to be huge. I'm grateful for family. Even if I can't see my family face to face in the way that I want to, I'm grateful for having them. I'm grateful for that connection. I'm grateful for my loved ones. I'm grateful for having time to slow down and think and process in this crazy time. This is a really nutty and crazy time, and a lot of us are being forced to slow down. I have a lot of health coaching clients who have told me, like, I was really apprehensive about this, but good, it's kind of forced me to kind of take stock of my life and slow down and really evaluate where I am and where I'm going and what I want to do. I'm grateful for being able to have more hands-on time with my kids. That's a real, like, we're all being forced to slow down, and so maybe you're being forced to have that time. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the calming conversation I had with a friend of mine yesterday, another parent at the school and a family member who is just also happens to be, I forgot exactly what her title is, but she's like a microbiologist. Okay. Exactly the type of person you want to talk to in this time. And the conversation I had with her was so calming. And she just reminded me that in this time, even though we're under this, what feels like feels really scary and crazy, we do this for a short amount of time to avoid a massive pandemic that goes on for a very, very long time. So we give up short weeks now to avoid a massive, massive breakdown and overhaul later. Okay. And that was really helpful. So if you don't have a microbiologist who just you can go onto CDC website, you can go onto various websites to try and get more information about why we're doing this. Okay. But again, with limits. I'm also grateful for the people who have checked up on me. Like I said yesterday, I got emotional in that parent meeting, and there were people who came up to me, really trying to check and make sure that I was okay. I'm really grateful for, again, the family members and the loved ones who have checked up on me. I got a text from a college friend this morning being like, okay, are y'all okay in the Bay Area? And thank goodness for that. That made me feel it's just nice to feel checked up on and cared about. I'm grateful for my husband giving me a break when I needed to cry yesterday. Yesterday I was feeling the feels. It was just all coming in, and I was just like, what is happening? But I was really grateful for a partner, a loved one, to be able to say, like, I got you. Go take a break. Go just take a minute. I watched a little bit of trash TV, and I got through it. And now I've bounced back in a more hopeful way. And again, my emotions will probably be up and down, as will yours, I'm sure. You'll probably go through moments where you're like, I'm strong and I got this. And then you'll have other moments where you're like, wow. But just, whether or not you have someone there with you who can give you a break, giving yourself that grace to be able to step away is going to be huge. and giving yourself that grace to watch some trash TV and to plug out, to do what you need to do is going to be good. I'm grateful for a workout that I had this morning. I have a really great online workout. And again, in that resource that I provide later, you'll see all of the different workouts that I do when I'm stuck inside. Okay. It was really empowering and it made me feel good, and all those endorphins are good. I'm grateful for the fact that, again, this could be way worse. As I said before, I talked to my friend. If you talk to anyone who's a scientist, or, if you look up things online from the scientist perspective, we are going through this time. We are giving up this time right now so that it doesn't get way worse. Which means, and this is affecting businesses' wallets left and right. Businesses only shut down to this degree when it is absolutely necessary. So it sucks right now. And again, so many of us are affected on an income level. But I am grateful for the fact that this is not as bad as it could be. Oh, yeah, I'm sure we know that the response could have been better, but we are on a plan right now to stop this in its tracks so it doesn't get even worse. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for hope. I'm grateful for the ability to hope, the ability to look around and recognize that everything is not in a hopeless situation. Okay. And if you need some help finding that hope, that's okay. You can message me. I'd love to set up a call with you, like no strings attached, just a quick check-in call if you need it. You can message me if you want that. I'd also, again, there are hotlines. You can talk to friends and just let people know if you're in that space. But just know that there is hope, that there are things that you can do for yourself to rebuild that hope. I'm grateful for the tools that I can use to stay connected to people. Okay, so in the Bay Area, we're being encouraged to not go and see people. I guess, and I have to look up whether or not that means that we can't go see like one friend or one family member, as long as it's like really, really small amount of people, because in 3 weeks, not being able to see people is going to be extremely rough. But, at the very, very worst case scenario, I have this tool to come to you live. Thank goodness for an internet connection right now, right? We have video phone, wow. Video conferencing, we have apps, we have things that we can use, Google Hangouts, Zoom, all of these different tools that we can use. And thankfully at my daughter's school, they're going to be using digital learning, using that for digital learning. I'm grateful for the comedic stylings of my kids. Yesterday, a big part of what helped me work through that funk that I was in was that my kids, 5 and 2, what do they care? So all they were doing for several minutes, they were just like being their normal selves, and they were cracking me up, and that helped to pull me out of it. And if you don't have any hilarious kids around you, look up some hilarious kids, because like the kids are such a light in these moments, and they can also help us kind of distract ourselves from being focused on all that we're worried about. And I'm also, again, really grateful for patience and grace and self-forgiveness during these times. I am grateful for self-compassion. Every moment is not going to be perfect, but we will all get through this together if we work on our mental health and our physical health. If we take care of ourselves and we take care of each other, we will all get through this together. Okay, self-compassion is key. Progress, not perfection. Okay, if you have your kids at home with you, or if you have a loved one that you're taking care of, don't expect to be perfect every single moment. I won't. I'm telling you right now, there's going to be moments where I mess up. And there's going to be moments where I mess it up for myself. And there are going to be moments where I want to strangle them. And there are going to be moments where they want to strangle me. And that's okay. And and same thing with you all as well too. So patience and self-forgiveness, just taking a break, stepping back, especially when you're starting to feel overloaded. If you have to give somebody a screen, go ahead and do it. I fully am giving myself permission to give my kids a screen as needed when I need a break, and when they're driving me nuts, when I'm driving them nuts. Okay? I fully give myself permission to give myself a screen. I give myself, I've been using my audiobooks. I have a whole contingency plan for my sanity, and I hope you do too. Okay? So self-compassion, forgive yourself, and move through it. Okay? And again, if you want these journals, I have these 3 prompts that I journal with. The self-forgiveness prompt, the I'm proud of myself for prompt, and the gratitude prompt. You can go into my Facebook group and you can have access to that. The Facebook group is called Healthy Living Should Be Fun, or you can message me and I can get that to you. I just couldn't link it because it's an attachment. So you can message me or you can go into the group to find that. Okay. And with that, I'm going to be coming live as much as possible just so I can kind of keep giving you these different tools that I'm using in real time. And you'll probably see me. There can be some moments where I show up and where I'm not at my best, but I'm going to show you how I move through it just so we can all support each other in that way. And by the way, you're all giving me a lot of therapy right now. So selfishly, this is therapeutic for me. So thank you. And as I said later, just stick with me social media wise. You will see that I have a full on resource for Sanity during this time. All right. And with that, my 2-year-old is starting to beckon and call. I don't know if you can hear her in the background, but I'm going to go tend to her. And we all got this. Okay. So message me if you need to check in about anything. I'm here to support. I have more time than usual. Bye.